Hey there, Paltamers. Today we're going to go over what are some of the best locations to have a base in Palworld. As you start progressing further in the game, you're going to need more and more metal. For instance, if you want to craft some of the endgame saddles, for example, the Palladius saddle, it requires 200 refined ingots and 300 regular ingots. Bear in mind, we haven't even explored armor, weapons, spheres, and other construction items for your base. Repairs can start becoming costly as well once you make higher level armor, and for all those reasons, it's important to optimize your base locations and base pals so you can farm metal and core ores much more efficiently. So let's go over how I've set up my base location to solve all these problems. I've only built two bases, one of them being the main base you build at the start of the game, and the second base is purely for farming ores and producing ingots. The place I've built has unlimited coal and unlimited ore, and overall just a great place to farm all of the ingots and wood you're going to need. You can see how many resources I've gotten so far, and I've only built the base 2 days ago. I've used a lot of the resources to make spheres, and I have over 100 legendary spheres because of the sheer amount of resources this base is able to produce. Not only are we going to go over the base location, but how to properly set it up and the best pals to use for this, how to get them early and make sure everything is running efficiently without your pals getting sick or unconscious. Now, there are a few amazing metal and coal farming locations, and some better than others depending on whether you want to deal with heat or cold resistance, and some are particularly amazing because they have skill fruit trees which can give epic level abilities for your pals. We'll go over each of these locations later on in the video, but let's start off with the one I decided to build. From the starting location on the map, if you go north to a waypoint called Sealed Realm of the Guardian, you're going to see a big mountain to the right which has a ton of ore and coal nodes. They're all really close together, which allows you to farm an unlimited amount of metal. This location is something I found by reading Reddit posts and other videos, and it's been an amazing place for farming resources so far. It is also by far the safest location because there are no raids, no heat or cold resistance, no other pal spawns, and the only downside is the lack of the skill fruit tree. It is an uneven surface to build on, so you'll need to be really careful not to despawn the ore nodes by building on top of them. Now, before you put down your pal box, you're going to want to put down some foundations on top of the hill here and try to get it as close to the middle of the hill as possible. There really isn't much you need to do to set up this base. You'll notice I have two boxes set up as close to the pal box as possible, and this is to minimize the travel distance when transporting ore between your bases. A really important tip is to make sure you craft a grappling gun, as you'll be able to carry all of your items even if you are over encumbered by simply grappling over to your pal box and fast traveling to your other base location. I have all my crafting equipment set up on this hill and reasonably spaced out, as if you have things too close together, the pals can glitch out, they'll become grumpy or sick and starve to death, so it's really important to make sure you space things out to avoid all of these problems. Another reason for this is you'll notice I have 119 pal ingots, and if I pick these up I won't be able to move, but I can use my grappling gun to jump over to my pal box and transfer all my items without having to drop anything. Now, before we go over what are the best pals to use for your base, let's go over some of the other locations. If you travel to the Sand Dunes entrance fast travel point, you can travel to this area. If you're just in need of coal, there are a ton of coal nodes here, and this is a great location to build on as it's relatively flat, and there is also a skill fruit tree in this location. If you travel a bit further north, there is another platform on top of this hill which has a bunch of coal nodes and a few metal nodes as well. There is also another skill fruit tree here for epic and rare skill fruits. If you travel to the Eternal Pyre Tower entrance fast travel point on the south side of the map, this is where you can farm up a ton of sulfur. I really don't recommend building a base to farm sulfur, as it's relatively easy to farm and close enough to waypoints. If you're looking for quartz, this is going to be one of the best locations to farm it up, but you don't really need a lot of quartz until later on in the game, and even then you don't need a massive amount of it, so setting up a base for quartz may not be the best idea. However, there are some metal nodes here as well. You can find this location if you head to the fast travel point called Land of Absolute Zero in the northwest side of the map in the ice biome and travel south. You can find it in the valley below here. Now let's go over some of the best pals for our base setup and how to get them. Anubis is one of the best, if not the best pal in the game, because it's got level 4 handicraft, level 3 mining and level 2 transporting, and you can get him super early in the game through crossbreeding. The easiest way to get this guy is simply breed a Penking with a Bushi. You can get a Bushi easily early game through a level 23 boss fight here, which is just west of the starting point, and a Pen King through a level 15 boss fight just north of the Plateau of Beginnings. If you can get your hands on a Ragnarok, it's got level 3 kindling and level 3 transport, and for some reason flying pals tend to get stuck less, but the best pal for kindling by far is going to be the Jormuntide Ignis with its level 4 kindling. However, it is difficult to get unless you get lucky through a huge dragon egg or capturing it from the endgame zones. Blasma is definitely one of the top pals to have in your base as it has level 3 kindling and level 4 mining, and this is the pal I'd recommend to have in your mining base. You can get this through a huge scorching egg or a level 49 boss fight down at the volcano area here. Lylene is definitely one of the best gathering and planting pals with its level 4 planting and level 2 gathering, and you are only going to need one of these to handle all of your crops for automating food production. If you don't have a Lylene, then a Petalia is a good alternative with level 3 planting and level 2 gathering. You can get this through a level 28 boss fight here, and you can actually breed a Petalia and a Mosander to get your hands on a Lylene. For watering, just use an Azurobi with its level 2 watering. You really don't need anything amazing, and you can get this through a level 17 boss fight here. Now, if you can't get your hands on a Blasma, then your best option is going to be a Reptyro with its level 3 kindling and level 3 mining. Another good option is going to be Phalaris with its level 3 kindling and level 3 transporting, and you can get this by crossbreeding an Anubis with a Vanworm. By far, the best pal for transporting is the Hell Zephyr with its level 4 transporting, which you can find at night in this area. I particularly like this pal as transporting as it's its only job and it doesn't get distracted by anything else. And that is basically all the best pals you're going to want for your base to make your life super easy. Other than that, I highly recommend getting the best beds for your pals, so upgrading to the fluffy pal beds as soon as possible and eventually the large pal beds. And that pretty much covers everything you need to know. Let me know how you've set up your base in the comments below. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.